I, like many of you, absolutely love the Joker. He's quite possibly the best and most celebrated villain of any medium out there. The character has had so many classic portrayals, from the pages of Alan Moore's Killing Joke, Mark Hamill's vocal performances on the animated show and video games, to Heath Ledger's legendary take in the Dark Knight movie. But have we seen too much of the Joker recently? Hello and welcome to the movies. In this video, I'm going to be discussing whether we've seen too much of the clown of Gotham and if it's time to give the character a back seat in upcoming Batman projects, specifically the movies. Spoiler warning for the most recent movie, The Batman. When Heath Ledger took on the role of the Joker in Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight, it was one for the ages, even winning the late actor a posthumous Academy Award. Many believe the character should be left untouched for a while on the silver screen, and he was, for about 8 years, when Jared Leto gave a performance that went down in history for all the wrong reasons. It was always going to be a tough act to follow for Leto, but a combination of odd choices from the studio and the actor led to a modern take that felt all kinds of wrong. It was a surprise to hear a Joker film was in the works to star Joaquin Phoenix just some years later. I had high hopes for this take on the character, as I think Joaquin is a great actor, and he didn't disappoint. His portrayal received high praise and the film sold a lot of tickets. What worked for the Joker film was it being such a different take on the character, as far as giving him a backstory that showed why he lost the plot and became the way he is. At this point, we've seen 3 versions of the Joker in just about a decade. With the announcement of The Batman, I was very pleased to see the main villain was set to be the Riddler, a character who desperately needed another go after the wacky antics of one Mr. Carey as far back as 1995. Matt Reeves made a much more grounded version of the character, with Paul Dano taking inspiration from the Zodiac Killer for his Riddler. I felt that it really worked for the Batman and the world that Matt Reeves is trying to build for his Gotham. Later in The Batman, when the Riddler is sent to Arkham State Hospital, he has a conversation with a shadowy figure in the next cell. From the way the character talks to the Riddler and the outline of the silhouette we see on screen, it's more than obvious that he's speaking to the Joker. I was shocked that the Joker was in The Batman and found it quite unnecessary. Earlier in the film, we see Batman take down a group sporting clown makeup as their Halloween costumes. This gang is up to no good. Now, to me, I took this to mean that there is indeed a Joker already around in this new Batman universe. Sure, clown makeup is very common for Halloween, but in a Batman film, I felt it was a little wink and a nudge to the audience to say, this gang are out causing trouble on Halloween and are inspired by the Joker. That's just how I interpreted the scene. The very brief time we got with the Joker in The Batman just felt shoehorned in to me. There is a longer deleted scene which features Robert Pattinson's Batman visiting Arkham State Hospital. This scene also mirrors what we see in The Long Halloween, which is the graphic novel that a lot of the Batman has taken inspiration from. In The Long Halloween, Batman visits Calendar Man to try and get a better sense of his enemy, trying to get inside the mind of a lunatic. And I think if this scene had been kept in, it would make more sense, as the Batman has already fought the Joker in this universe and he's trying to get help from somebody who can relate to another lunatic. Matt Reeves said he took this 5-minute scene out of the final cut because it slowed the film down, but I'd argue that this gave a better sense of the character already existing in the Batman universe than what we got in the final cut. I'm sure many of you are sat thinking, of course the Joker is going to be in this franchise. He's Batman's arch enemy, the two go together. And I totally agree with you, but Barry Keogh turning up in The Batman looking all disfigured, albeit through frosted glass or in the shadows, makes this our 4th version of the character in 15 years on the silver screen. I'm all for a version of this character showing up in this rebooted franchise, but I think the subtle hint, like the Clown Gang, would have been enough in the first installment. Maybe a cameo should have been saved for the second film, with the Joker being the final big bad in the 3rd installment. I do like the sounds of what Matt Reeves has planned for the Joker. In recent interviews, he has revealed that his Joker has a disease which causes him to have a permanent smile, as well as some other things we see, such as a balding pattern to his hair and a disfigured face beyond the smile. I'm quite interested to see how this will play out into the overall story, although it won't help the call to stop portrayals of villains and evil characters having disfigurements, which has become quite a hot topic in recent years. Batman has quite an extensive rogues galleries, and readers of the comics will know how deep this roster goes. Of course, the more popular villains will always get the nod ahead of the lesser known characters. For one, general audiences who don't read comics will know the Joker or the Penguin, but with such a lot of enemies to choose from, it can be quite frustrating to always end up with Batman facing off against the same villains. So what do you guys think? Have we seen too much of the Joker in recent years, or would you like to see more of the character? What direction do you think Matt Reeves will go with the latest version of the Clown Prince? Thank you for watching. Why don't you check out my best Batsuits video next?